All right. Holy smokes. Wow. What an ending to a season. The brightest timeline. Pretty much the only hope we had. Tyler and Hannah. Wow. Welcome to the stream. Come on in. For those of you who are new, who haven't seen the stream before, we're doing a post-show live stream where the community gets to talk about the show, chat, get my live take, my live reaction, reviews, recaps, breakdowns, they're all in the way. We only have a couple of rules here. Number one doesn't really count anymore. No spoilers. I think we don't need that rule anymore. But the other one is still intact. Just be kind to each other. So let's talk about this episode. Holy smokes. Wow. The best timeline. It's really all we could have hoped for. And when it came down to the last little bit, I was looking at the time, figuring out what was possible for the rest of the show. And I was worried that we were running out of time for Tyler. I knew he was there. I knew he had to be addressed. But I didn't know. And then it got to about like 15 minutes left, and they were starting to dance around the idea, and it happened. So we have, okay, it's not the happiest of endings, but we have a happy ending to this season. Thank goodness. Holy smokes. Poor Hannah. What a just nightmare of a season for her. Everything gets bulldozed by Luke and Jed. And you know what? I'll say it now. Tyler is the winner officially. So I'm giving myself the W on that one. Tell us what happened. Okay, so if you aren't watching the show, if you just sort of watch the recaps or you watch it later and you're interested in what happened and that's why you're here. So basically what happened tonight was it came down to Tyler and Jed, as we both know, as we all know from the previous episode. Peter got eliminated. And in the end, she chose Jed. And then all of the info about Jed's girlfriend came out. Apparently, the day after they got engaged, Jed said, just FYI, there's this woman in my past, and, don't worry about her. We were kind of like not dating, really. So I broke up with her a week before the show. So just so you know, and just in case you hear something about that. And then she started to hear about her saying, him saying I love you to her and things like that. And he was like, yeah, I said it once. Okay, maybe like twice or 3 or 4 times. And then it just kind of started to all unravel from there. Then the People article came out and they filmed a breakup. So Hannah came still with an engagement ring and left without it. So they broke up. And then at the after the final rose, Hannah and Tyler talked, I think officially. I don't know if they had been secretly DMing each other or something like that. Something seemed to imply that in one of the parts that they said. I don't know for sure, but it sort of seemed that way. And in the end, it very much seemed like both of them were kind of like, yeah, I'm game for this. Tyler, if he had come on and was over and didn't want to be with her, he would have outright said that. But he was sort of like, wow, you look beautiful. And then that was it. Hannah asked Tyler out on a date, so they're going to go on a date. And Victoria, thank you for the super chat. Tyler doesn't deserve to be her second choice, though. He also did not look into the whole idea of drinks. Yeah. So, yeah, I do agree with that. He should have been her first choice, but I will also agree with what Hannah says, is that a lot of the experience got taken away from her rather than her sort of making bad decisions. Not that she didn't make bad decisions at all this season, but definitely some of the stuff was pulled from her. In that everything with Luke, like I do believe that if Luke had acted somewhat normal, and a little bit less control-y, he would have won the season. I think if he had just been a little bit a couple of degrees more normal um, with Hannah, then he would have won the season. So it wasn't until that whole fantasy suite incident that she was completely over him, and then it was like, okay, Jed, right? And then Jed had all that info come out. So um, I do understand that, yeah, absolutely Tyler should have been the outright first choice, but I can sort of see why it happened this way. And John, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. He brought a guitar to the proposal. I know. For someone who really wasn't there for his music career anymore, he had to sing a song. Of course he did. Like, what are we expecting anything else? Are we expecting at some point in the season for him to just not start bringing his guitar and singing songs? Of course he did. So yeah, and in the end though, Tyler gets the final drink. The final drink. So as far as I'm concerned, that's better than a final rose. So he's the ultimate winner in the season. And if you're thinking, okay, you're kind of setting yourself up for Tyler to possibly be the Bachelor. It's going to be, in a great Bachelor season. We'll get to see a whole season of Tyler. Don't worry, because I would be flabbergasted if he didn't get a Dancing with the Stars invite. It just seems perfect, right? So expect to see more Tyler on your TV. And you know what? If Tyler and Hannah have that drink, have a couple of drinks, and things don't work out, well, see you next season in Paradise, Tyler. So don't worry, we'll be seeing more Tyler. And will he go on Kimmel with her? I don't know. Kimmel's on in another hour and 20 minutes, so the stream will be done by that time, and we'll be able to see all that. I wonder. I got to imagine if I'm Jimmy Kimmel or the producers there, I want to like pull Tyler in too, right? Or at least start with Hannah and then add Tyler in there, because that's the whole redemption of this whole season. For viewers, at least, the whole redemption of everything of this season is that it didn't end in just a sad story. It ended in something like a little minuscule bit of hope. So I gotta think that he would be trying to get Tyler in there. So yeah, wow. Thank goodness we have something bright to look at in the season as we go into Paradise. And there's going to be we got another Paradise preview. A lot of the footage was very similar to what we had already seen before. I do have stuff to say on the Paradise front. So we will be talking about that. There are some updates to some of the sleuthing we've done. So maybe I'll combine that with looking at the preview, even though it's been footage we've seen before, a lot of it. There's only a few new ones. And Think Story, thank you for the super chat. Did this ep reveal anything about who could be Batch? So, well, I think at this point Tyler's out of the running. So Chris Harrison has talked about them not making an announcement till Paradise. And I do believe that maybe they were thinking Mike, but they're just going to kind of feel out how things are going. So it's going to be Peter or Mike for sure at this point. It's got to be, and I still think that now with Tyler out of the running, Mike's the front runner. So, and Catherine, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyler doesn't deserve to be anyone's second choice, but he deserves to be happy. If his happiness is Hannah, then, yeah, absolutely, agree. So Tyler definitely, he can make his own choice here. He obviously, as he said himself on the show, he'd sort of had some solace in the fact that Hannah was with someone who he thought was going to treat her well. And then I imagine he watched the season based off what he said at the end there, and sort of felt a pull towards her. Um, he probably felt sad for her and protective of her, and maybe because it's only really been a couple of months, and very much in his life, being on social media, being in the whole Bachelor Nation chaos, he is saying, he's still invested in Hannah. Hannah's still very much in his life. So I can see why he would still be drawn to her. It's only been so much time, right? So I think I think I can see why he would still feel invested, not feel like a second choice. So we'll see. Yeah, and Paradise is coming right up. We saw Demi and Demi in the audience. There was something that I noticed on Demi there. I'm gonna have to take a look at it, and I'll fill you in, people here who are in the stream. But I can't confirm it right now. I'm gonna have to double check the footage, take a look back. But I'm almost certain that I saw while Demi was clapping an engagement ring on her ring finger. So I don't want to get you too excited, but I did see that. I could have been in a haze with everything that was happening on the show, or dreaming of what could be with Tyler after the whole Jed choice, but we'll see. We'll see. And can you go over the Peter drama if I missed it? Yeah, so there was some drama with Peter having a girlfriend, but the tea seems pretty cold at this point. But we'll see. If there's more to it, I imagine it has to come out, right? But we'll see. We'll see about that. I'm sure if Peter becomes a Bachelor, we'll get full clarity on that. Essentially, it was Peter had a girlfriend as well that he broke up with. Somewhere in like December before the show started filming. So very different from Jed, who didn't break up with anyone at all. And Hermione Diaz, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you think the producers knew that Jed had a girlfriend? Interesting question. I would say that the most likely scenario, if they did know about the girlfriend, was that they just didn't do their due diligence and investigate further. I could see a world where they heard some things and thought, we're just gonna brush it over, and it might be good drama, maybe. That being said, I think after this season, there's going to be very much added pressure to ensure that it doesn't happen again. I would hope so. Because if season after season it just kept coming out that people had girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever, then that would just start to eventually look really bad on the show. If it happens in this season here, and it has happened before as well, it's somewhat forgivable in that we'll forget about it, especially if there's another more successful storylines afterwards. But they definitely have to make sure that it doesn't happen again, at least not in the near future. So I am hoping they'll be much more diligent about that. And Carolyn Needles, thank you so much for the super chat. Jed is a better songwriter when he's not trying. Some stuff he said tonight could be turned into good lyrics. Yeah, I know that. Well, I think there's a little bit more desperation, sincerity, maybe tonight. But who knows what he could turn that into, a cat food commercial? So we'll see. We'll see. "444." Does anyone know what 444 is? 444 is what Jed's ex texted him before leaving for the show. Yeah, it is 444. It was something that Haley had said to Jed as part of their I believe this is the case. So I can't remember what. Yeah, is it a four? The internet is a number for highest of spiritual love. Okay. So what did Haley say? She said something that was specifically meant for Jed. 444 means I love you. 444 means 444 times in the windmill. Yeah, absolutely. Means all is well. But yeah. So, did she say that to Jed in the thing? It's all 444, meaning it's all good or all will be well. Yeah, so she said something like it's all 444. Anyways, yeah, when no one clapped for Jed. So yeah, he got less claps than Luke. Absolutely. And Fancy Pants, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you think Jed will ever have redemption on Bachelor in Paradise in future seasons and become the next Dean? I guess you're implying that Dean, very much disliked, and then he's coming back for sort of a potential redemption Bachelor in Paradise. And I mean, yeah, possibly. It's all sort of speculation at this point. I think Jed's gonna need to take some time before he can reintroduce himself into the Bachelor world. But I do see the producers being very intrigued at the idea of him returning to Paradise, say, next year. Um, I I could very much see them saying, like this is going to be good TV. It's going to bring viewers in, and he'll be back, and he'll have this sort of idea of, I've reflected. I'm ready for love now. So I can't imagine the producers in a year's time would pass on that possibility, because in a year's time people are going to have a lot of other things on their mind. There's going to be a whole new season of Bachelor and Bachelorette, so kind of the hate for Jed will have dwindled. But if he keeps it up, if he keeps his ways up, I don't know. That's the only way I could see it not happening. And Sarah, thank you so much for the super chat, extra long super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the stream. Did you notice that Hannah wore blue during the breakup, just like Becca did? Coincidence? Also, do you feel differently about the season knowing that Jed had a girlfriend? Also, who's worse, Jed or Luke? Well, one thing we can say is that Luke got more claps. Luke got more claps. So, I mean, I don't know. Did someone maybe dress Hannah for that? Something like a solidarity thing? You'd have to ask Hannah that if it was on purpose or not. But so do you feel differently about the season knowing that Jed had a girlfriend? Absolutely. And what I mean by that is, well, we sort of knew halfway through. I have to admit that I was very much a Jed fan in the beginning, and you can go back and look at the videos, and see that I was really on Team Jed. How he handled the whole walking in on Luke situation. I'm a big preacher of like, you're going on The Bachelor, you have to do whatever it takes to mentally prepare yourself for this idea that multiple people are going to be dating the same woman, and whatever that means for you, I'm not saying it's something that you should should be easy for you, but you have to, especially in the early days, put away the jealousy, just embrace the craziness of the show. And Jed did that. I mean, we can obviously look at that now and say, well, Jed did that because he wasn't invested. He didn't really care. He just wanted to make it far. But for me, when I saw that, I was really having a breath of fresh air from all the kind of normal jealousy that we saw. So, if I didn't know about Jed, I probably would have continued that support, despite the guitarness and everything, far into the season. I mean, obviously Tyler was the real deal, so he might have overtaken Jed in that regard, but definitely it's affected the way I viewed this season. And it also, I think, in regards to Hannah, it gives me some sympathy for her and her experience and the decisions that she made, because I do believe she's right when she said that some of this was taken from her. And Elizabeth Lane, thank you for the super chat. Just gotta say, I love Tyler. Oh, don't we all? Don't we all? Tyler's the winner. I know. Also, Hannah talked about using the word one. I use it as a silly sort of thing to talk about the winner of the season, but I do believe it's different when Jed says it, like, I won, potentially. Allegedly, he said. It's a bit different when you're in the relationship and say I won than if you're watching a show. And Lizzie, thank you so much for the super chat. What outcome do you think will come from Hannah and Tyler? I got to imagine that it's going to last for a while. It's going to be big. It's going to be big for both of them. They seem like they're interested. So I wouldn't hold my breath. I mean, like, it's the same thing. It seems like they're kind of doing a start over. They're going to start with drinks. They're going to start from the base again. But I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. And I hope some of their tweets are less annoying than Colton and Cassie's. So. And Brooke, thank you for the super chat. Hi, do you think that Hannah and Tyler will last? Perfect question right there. It's hard to say at this point. Like I said before, they're just kind of restarting over from the base. And, I mean, they obviously have a lot to work past with everything that happened. She obviously chose Jed over Tyler, and then there was this whole mess with Luke and Jed and everything. But I think if they just start from that base of a drink and don't invest too much into it, I think they'll progress in a great way. And it's Dollface23. Thank you so much for the super chat. Does Luke have a chance on Paradise in the future? My gut's telling me no right now. I think that might be one that the producers won't want to touch with a 10-foot pole, at least for a little while. So well, I mean, we'll see. I would, every time I say that, the producers surprise me with something, but at this point, I think if you were to say now, there's no chance. I think they just kind of want to move past this, move away from it, move on to other things. So I hope Luke would also feel the same way, but because it mustn't be fun for him either, all this hate. And Ava, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyler was not comfortable with Hannah. Thoughts? Are you talking about at the very end of the show, him sitting with Hannah? If that's the case, I disagree. I kind of was expecting him to come out and it to just kind of be like, friendship, or I really respect everything and I really feel for you, but it's been hard and I've started the process of moving on. Or even Hannah to say, like, it's just too soon, it's just been too crazy, I'm not looking for a relationship for the moment, or I just kind of want to move past this experience a little bit. And then Tyler came out, and he just seemed like he was kind of, okay, if you're into it, then I'm into it. He sort of the way he addressed her and said, like, oh, doesn't she look fantastic and everything, and I was kind of going like, whoa, okay, all right. I mean, they weren't in a place where they're, okay, let's get back, let's get engaged, let's, start over from right before the rose ceremony, but in the sense of, like, you know what, let's try out with a date. I absolutely think he was pretty comfortable there, in my opinion, from the, my first reaction of everything that happened. And Elizabeth Lane, thank you for the super chat. When she said yes, Jed looked like, oh, shoot. And unsure, I know, like, he's like, how do I keep winning? How do I keep doing this? I thought this last audition was going to be the nail in the coffin. He should have came out with his dog food jingle. That would have sealed it. She would have said, okay, can we bring Tyler back? And Emily Johnson, thank you for the super chat. What do you think about Mike in Paradise? So yeah, so we know Mike's going to be in Paradise. I think Mike, more than ever, is building momentum for the next Bachelor. I honestly thought that, especially when the previous episode happened and it was pretty certain that she was going to choose Jed in the end, I thought, okay, now Tyler is a big contender for Bachelor. He's such a like tour de force in terms of like qualities, social media following, the love of the people, just the story coming in second, and everything like that. It's hard to ignore that. But now that they're kind of still shipping a Hannah and Tyler relationship, I think that pushes Mike and even Peter as well forward in terms of the Bachelor conversation. Now, we do know that, or I'd heard that Chris Harrison had said they won't make an announcement soon about Bachelor. It's going to be sometime during Paradise, I believe, and so I would imagine that coincides well with Mike being the Bachelor. It's all going to depend on if he actually ends up with someone. The only footage that I've seen so far is of him holding hands with Kaylin, and I have heard more evidence that Kaylin and Dean are more likely of a couple than Kaylin and Mike. So where does that leave Mike? Possibly single at the end of Bachelor in Paradise. Perfect for Bachelor. To me, I'm starting to feel Mike come along as more and more of a contender and the number one contender for Bachelor. I imagine if they wanted Peter, they would have done more with him in the last episode and potentially this episode to build up in our minds him as this lead, the lead that we want. So I haven't quite seen that yet, but we'll see. We'll see. And thank you also, Lauren West, for the donation. Really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the stream. But we're all going to find out. All of this this Paradise stuff is going to come to light in the next week. The next week. So it's gonna be great. We have like a few days wait. That's it. That's all we have till Paradise. And Maria, thank you so much for the super chat. Did you see the vid of Jed stripping on Reddit? I saw that. Someone they messaged me that, tweeted me that, or something like that. I saw it in the last couple of days where he's a background dancer. Yeah, so to add on to it, I'd heard a couple of things. I hadn't seen any of the videos, but I'd heard rumors that he had done stuff like that. I had heard the rumors, but again, I had no confirmation about Jed and the other women, and it wasn't just Haley, but he was also with other women when he was with Haley. So these are some of the rumors that I'd sort of alluded to in previous streams, but I didn't want to like say them outright because I hadn't heard any proper validation on that. Obviously tonight we saw some of the validation. Hannah talked about the other women as well, and yes, and I did see today the Reddit video where Jed's it's like a Magic Mike strip show, and he's obviously not the best dancer, so they put him in the back. Yeah, I had seen that. And Christina, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. You think watching the season changed her perspective? Watching the season changed her. So I'm guessing you're talking about Hannah. Do you think that Hannah watching the season changed her perspective? Possibly. I think that's a fair point to bring up. She very much seemed more and more excited about Tyler the more times we saw her live as the season goes on. So I could see that. Obviously, from her perspective, you're watching the season and going, okay, what the heck is up with all these men? And then you're just seeing Tyler, like, even in the interviews, the behind the scenes, he's just awesome. So I could see that playing a factor. And Daisy, thank you so much for the super chat as well. Do you think there's still a chance for Tyler for Bachelor? Oh yeah. So I mean, obviously they haven't announced yet if if something were to happen where they went on their drink, Tyler and Hannah, and it just didn't work out, that's the chance. And the one thing though that I believe is the biggest crux in the Tyler for Bachelor possibility is that I do believe they will be very interested in Tyler for Dancing with the Stars. And I think by that ABC they can both have Tyler on Dancing with the Stars and Mike or Peter for Bachelor, so they get the best of both worlds, right? The problem with Dancing with the Stars is that I believe it happens around the time that they would be filming, or it might get in the way of some of the dates that they'd be filming The Bachelor, which will come out in January, as it usually does, unless there's been some surprise change there. But so I think that's also one of the reasons why it's less likely that Tyler will be the Bachelor, and more likely for Mike. So and Crystal, yeah, Tyler for Bachelor. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah. I mean, look. I'm not gonna lie when you tell me that that Tyler for the Bachelor would be great. I agree. I also want to see more Tyler on the screen, but I think we are gonna do that. I can't imagine they wouldn't push so hard for Tyler for Dancing with the Stars. It's ABC. His whole thing is dancing. He's so beloved. So I don't expect we'll be seeing the end of Tyler on our television screens anytime soon. But we'll see. It depends also on Tyler as well, right? I mean, he has to agree to it. So and video ideas for the off season. So I'll be doing Paradise. I'll be doing Paradise as long as you know, I don't get completely copyright struck out of my mind, which happened today. Warner Chaplin, they were striking me for weird reasons almost all my videos today. I don't know what the heck is going on. They've I think it's maybe the music or something like that. We'll see. I'll get it all figured out. But if things are going bad, just I made a little tweet on my Twitter. Go and give that like a like or a retweet so that the people at YouTube know. It's a bit of a strange situation, but we're going to get it all figured out. Nothing's going to change. We're still going to be doing videos no matter what, so don't worry about that. But as far as off-season content goes, so we still got another month, Paradise and everything. And there's a ton to be had about that. I'll be doing some videos, some off-season videos. For sure, stuff like I'll probably end up at some point grading this season, and then also Bachelor in Paradise, and figure out how to do that. It's something I'm gonna think about over the next month. I don't want to force content. The only reason why I was so easygoing about the off season between Bachelor and Bachelorette was because I had ideas for a video a week that were already in my mind. But I'm gonna let those come, and I'll possibly look at other stuff as well. But definitely, this is going to be a Bachelor, like primarily a Bachelor channel. But there's still going to be content, so stick around. And then there's always the next season of The Bachelor, so it's only actually a few months away. Force content, force it. Yeah. Okay. I definitely will be thinking of content, but I'm not gonna sit there and do something that just for the sake of, because I want you to enjoy good quality videos, and know that if it doesn't come out, it's because it just wasn't good. It wasn't good. So Kayla, thank you so much for the super chat. No question, just showing my love for your content. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. And once we reach 50K, which is coming up close, we're gonna have dog reveal. I'm surprised you didn't hear a few moments ago, like 20 minutes ago or something, my dog came into the room, looked up at me, and then thought, "Oh, you're doing this again." Just left. Um, and I promised to also do a face reveal once we reach like a mega milestone or something. Whatever that is, like 100K. I know it's kind of the dream, but whenever that feels natural as well. If it feels natural earlier, I'll do that as well. Um, but yeah, and Love Island. Been watching a little bit of Love Island. Um, and but I don't know. It's just Love Island is so always that I just don't think it's possible to do it. Maybe I'll do something like a encapsulating the whole season. We'll see. I don't take my word for that. Um, but there's still a lot of Bachelor content to go through. Paradise, new Bachelor, and that'll take us into September. So we've got some time to think about all of that. And yeah, yeah, Love Island. And can you talk about the apartment drama with Jed? So are you? I guess you're talking about maybe when they broke up, where Hannah kind of came in with a ring, left without one, because she confronted Jed on all of his stuff, and he just really, that whole scene that he just couldn't get the right thing. He instead of would have been cool, and I kind of would have had a little bit of respect for Jed if he had done this. If he had just said, you know what, yeah, and we should break up. Could you imagine if he had said that? It kind of would have been cool. It would have been the most honest thing that I had heard from him all season. So I kind of could have respected him a little bit for that, you know? Could have seen all of the crap that was happening around him and just said, you know what? Bite the bullet, let's do this now. And just go right into it. But, obviously he was trying to save a little bit of face at that point. I think he a little bit after the final rose kind of knew, oh, he was screwed. So he was a little bit more apologetic there. So, but it would have been good. Blake had I've seen a couple people say Blake had a blue bracelet. There's also one other person who had a blue bracelet, who I think it actually is. So I don't think Blake is proposing to Hannah at the end. I think it's the other person. So, and Hermione Diaz, thank you so much for the super chat. Is Mike going to be the Bachelor because he's black? No, absolutely not. I think he has a lot of great qualities that normally a Bachelor has. And he happens to be black. I mean, I think it's also about time that we've had a black Bachelor. We've had a black Bachelorette. But I don't think it's going to be because he's black. I think there are seasons past where there have been, like black bachelors who have made it far. But it seems like if it's not going to be Mike, then who is it going to be, right? And at this point, if you're thinking Mike or Peter, then or anyone other than Mike or Peter, I don't know where that's coming from, honestly, other than maybe just personal favorite. Like, you could be saying like, oh, Connor for Bachelor, but he just didn't make it far, didn't get as much screen time. Mike and Peter both got huge amounts of screen time, have a huge following around them, have a story to tell, are still likely going to be single, unless Mike really finds someone in Paradise, which I haven't seen any footage for yet. So I do believe there's reason other than just race that's involved with Mike. And what about Tyler? Yeah, I mean, at this point, obviously Tyler and Hannah are a thing. So I do not believe. I do not believe so. Yeah, Jen is very immature. Connor low key, yeah, oh yeah, Shekshi, very much. Peter for Bachelor. It's whatever. It's whatever. It is. I think it's either Peter or Mike at this point. But my my gut is telling me that Mike is getting more and more likely as the Bachelor. So we are going to come to the end of the live stream. We've got one more video tomorrow, and it might be a weird video. I'm going to address this like silly little Warner Chaplin stuff that's happened, or whatever it is. And if that means that there are scenes where I can't use music or whatever, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna have a darn freaking video tomorrow, and we're gonna keep the channel going no matter what, and it's gonna be good stuff. So don't you worry about any of that. We're gonna do it, and just bear with me. It's gonna be fun. So if you have any last questions, anything about the end of the show. Wow, we've made it to the end of The Bachelorette. The Hot Mess Express has finished its journey. Are you going to watch Hannah's interview on Jimmy Kimmel? Yeah, I might watch it live, or I might tape it, just because I'll want to get up early. But we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. Yeah, who's Warner Chaplin? It's the so normally when everything that I deal with on the channel is fair use, under fair use law, and normally WBTV, which is the ABC and everything that I've had really minimal problems at all with anything that I've ever done. Just today there was a music company that copyright claimed not to take down my videos or anything, but to share any revenue that they collected. So, which is also weird, and you'll see, I'll just post that up there. Here's one of the claims that they did, and you can see sort of the picture there, on the video. So they have to timestamp any section that they say, okay, this is the part where you used something that we don't want you to use, or this is the part where you use this piece of a song that we own. So you can either remove that from the video, or do whatever. And as you can see, that the kind of bar at the very bottom there, it goes from the whole entire video. And there's also this part. So I have this tweet that I saw from Team YouTube. They said that anyone who makes a manual claim against you must provide accurate timestamps to a video. And then someone responded, what if they select the whole video as the timestamp? And they responded, we'll be evaluating the accuracy of timestamps. Failing to provide accurate data is considered a violation of our manual claiming guidelines. Claimants who repeatedly do this will have their access to manual claims removed. And as you can sort of see, pretty much the whole video, including parts where it's just me talking like this. There's no music or anything like that, even though they've claimed that it is a cover song. Cover song I'm going to do a song by the Beatles. I'm going to do a cover on it, with my guitar on the channel or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, I've sent a tweet out. I've disputed all the claims. It's like they did 20 claims or something like that, crazy. But we're going to get it resolved. That's what that is. Don't worry. Don't worry about any of it. Even if whatever happens, we're going to figure out to put more videos out. We're not going to stop. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, welcome to the world of of YouTube copyright. Honestly, I do want to say this is separate from ABC, the people who own ABC, which have been somewhat reasonable about all this. So, anyways, if you want to, if it upsets you, send a message to or tweet something out. Retweet my tweet about it. Go on my Twitter. Send a message to Team YouTube or the YouTube creator Twitter account. whatever it is, tweet them if you feel like it. I'd appreciate it, but it's all gonna be good. So don't worry about any of that. I'm from Australia. Can someone give me a summary of what happened? Tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna do a recap, but it's the brightest timeline. The brightest timeline. So thank you everyone for showing up. And I'll answer this last one. Do you think that Tyler and Hannah were DMing before the finale? I'm curious if they did. There's a little part. I'll have to review the footage. But that kind of was my feeling. That she had said something along the lines of like, oh, leading up to this and kind of before this, like things that happened, our conversations or something. It was something like that kind of made me feel like that. So thank you again for coming into an awesome live stream. We're going to continue the live streams for Paradise. So just because Bachelorette is over doesn't mean the live streams, doesn't mean the content is over. We're going to be dishing this all out no matter what any company says to us. So, I mean, as long as we're still cool. But everything's going to be awesome. Thank you for coming out. What an end of the season. It's the brightest timeline. With that, Bachelor Fantake out. By the way, Tyler won. I'm calling it now. Oh, and thank you, Claudia. Thank you so much for the super chat right before I'm about to get off. Thank you for supporting the stream. Really appreciate it. Tyler won.